Hey guys, SeanB. Today we're going to talk about the best RTA team that you can build right now in the current meta. What you are seeing on the screen right here is the top RTA unit that people are using in high rank. And this is from a website that I use all the time. I'll leave a link down below to check how popular a unit is and what is their win rate at the moment. And if you go to the website, you'll get a better understanding on what is popular and whether you have the popular unit and how they are performing against certain unit or with certain unit. So I highly recommend, if you want to get serious about RTA, then check the website out to see if you can build certain thing from the popular unit. The most important thing that anyone should do is to build a core team of 2 to 3 units. This is very different from a dungeon guy because I cannot tell you 5 units that you should use all the time and you're gonna win all the time, because that is just not the case. RTA is about adapting and last picking and countering the enemy strategy. A lot of the game is decided in the drafting. And even if you have a strong core team, you still have to play a lot to get a better understanding of how to draft and outdraft the enemy, or at least have like a 50-50 win chance against the enemy and not get outdrafted. So a good core team will have many different elements. It will pair well with different last pick and it allow you to pivot into different play style, and it's not too obvious what you are doing or what you are last picking. And a core team should cover many roles. It should have strip, damage, sustain, speed lead, pushback, debuff, all that kind of stuff. The more you can stack in your core team, the better, because it will open up more room for last picking. Because if your core team doesn't do a whole lot or lack a certain element, then you will face a lot of problem in drafting in general. But once again, if you're him and your box looks something like this and you have insane rune, then maybe you can pick like 5 units all the time and you win all the time. It doesn't really matter. But honestly, if you ask him, he would say that even with this kind of box and insane rune, you still need to adapt to certain situation to win more than often. And another thing to note is that you are going to lose all the time. Even the best player in the world who's rank 1 or rank 100, they will also lose all the time when they play RTA, at least like maybe 30% of their matches. So you're going to lose all the fucking time. So get used to it, okay? You're not special. Everyone loses to violent procs. You're gonna lose. Get used to it. Learn from losing, because most of the time, it is not the procs that cost you the game. You got outdrafted, you make the bad choices, you were greedy. I do that all the time. And then you get proc on, and suddenly it is because of the proc that you lost. No, it's because you were shit in the drafting or the ban picking, or ruining a unit wrong, you have bad speed tuning. There are so many reasons that you lost, and there are so many ways you can improve in your RTA game. But anyway, back to the lesson. I'm sorry, I call out like 99% of people who are watching this video already, including me. Yes. This is the most popular team at the moment, the Chandra, Cigar, Villager, or some variation of this team. But these 3 units are very popular at the moment because just the 3 units cover speed lead, strip, damage, healing, 2 defense breaker, and you can pivot into turn 1 or turn 2, no problem whatsoever. That's why they are so popular. And because both Chandra and Villager provide skill 1 strip as well, even though the team doesn't have an AoE stripper, when you have immunity, they can still strip you just fine. And that's why they're so popular, they're so strong, and so many people are using this team. So when you have this team, when you want to outspeed, pay attention to units that have high base speed like Ethna, Sekhmet, Asher, Ren, Triton. Whichever unit have higher base speed will usually get the best swift set that you have, so that you can fight the enemy using, let's say, a wind robo with shitty base speed 100, and you can outspeed a unit more comfortably. Unit that have higher speed like Mouse, even on the Vial set, can be used as well, and it pairs really well with the Bruiser style because you can provide even more strip damage, and it fit in with these 3 units perfectly. And the 3 unit over here also pivot really well into the turn 2. Let's say you are getting outsped, you pick a Haegang so that when they strip you, they face RNG with Haegang passive, giving your Villager attack bar. Very terrible. Or Juno provide even more strip and allow the Chandra Cigar to control even better, and also very good against debuff. And these units also pair really well when you last pick a Leo to counter a lot of different speed team out there. Leo limit the speed of the enemy and take away all their speed scaling damage and allow these tanky units to catch up easier to the speedy team the enemy is using. And when they catch up easy, they can destroy the enemy easily as well. And they also pair really well with the free-to-play option, let's say the Ginger Brave, or I don't remember the name of the guy you get from the coin shop for free, or Asher. Pairs really well with these free-to-play unit. And if you're going turn 2, it also pairs really well with Vert, Veramos, Tessarian, Tetra. All the other free-to-play unit you can get can also be used with this trio. And that's why they are very, very popular. If a low rank, you can try start using these units against people that don't know what the hell they're doing in RTA, and you will have a very, very good time because you are doing so much more damage, controlling better, surviving better. All the good stuff is built in these 3 units. And you know what's the best part? They can also pair really well with pretty much any LD out there that you have, whether you have turn 1 LD with high base speed like Yeonhong, Berkey, or Laura, or turn 2 LD like Ragdoll, Tianlang, and Julian, or pretty much anything that strip worked really well here because Cigar really love AoE strip. And the good thing about this core team is that you can pair it with any LD5, almost any LD5, as long as the LD5 can either provide attack bar or damage or strip or combination of that. So the high base speed one like Yeonhong, Berkey, Laura is going to allow this team to be faster, more volatile. The turn 2 LD5 like Ragdoll, Tianlang, and Julian also pair really well because the team is naturally tanky. And if they're trying to go turn 1 against you with Ragdoll and Tianlang, your Velaju can come in between and provide immunity much easier. And because the team also provide defense break, any sort of Bruiser LD5 like Julian, or maybe the Beast Riders, or Mi Ying, or pretty much Jaeger, any damage dealer can utilize the defense break from either Velaju or Cigar to one-shot the enemy. The other LD5 that is like mid-range-ish, like Gianna, Veronica, any sort of strip plus extra utility pairs really well with this trio, and that's why they are so popular, and you see them in RTA and in SWC all the damn time. Would they get nerfed? I'm not too sure. Because they are so popular, that is also a downside because people will take away your unit because they're so popular. So what are the other alternative options when, let's say, you lose one of the unit in your core team? So let's say they first pick Chandra, you can only pick Velajo and Cigar. You can pick other water speed leader like Water Twin Angel, which is very, very popular at the moment on a high speed Swift build to provide strip on a single target and then boost the attack bar of the Cigar to strip another target. So you technically control 2 targets of the enemy already. Especially you can control that stripper and then Velajo buff immunity, your team is all set. Or you have a more to move and then provide AoE strip for the Cigar, or any LD5 speed lead that you have, you can also put them in because Cigar Velajo provide a bit of damage with a defense break. Any LD5 speed lead I think is going to be okay as well. If you don't get Velajo, but you still want some sort of fire presence in your team, you can put in a Shower, the Fire Bayak, very popular because of the heal, cleanse, defense break, and also another single target strip for the Cigar, or Fire Bruiser unit like Masha or Fire Monkey is also very popular. Gapsu is like a mix in between with healing, stripping, CC, a bit of damage, but also great. And then if they first pick Cigar, you get to pick Chandra Velajo. Then you can add in other win CC unit. For example, Smicer is very, very popular because Smicer is another unit that doesn't really have to move much. But when Smicer take a turn, it is very impactful with strip, silence, healing, or bombing. Or Oliver is always great to put in a Bruiser comp because of the control that he provide. And Winrable is also another great option because of Chandra turn cycling. Winrable can go even more often and it can control the enemy team even better. Or these can be the follow-up pick for your core team as well if you have already locked in these 3 units. The unit you are seeing on the screen right here can be the follow-up unit that you want to put in your team because they provide the utility that these really enjoy. And the good thing about this core team is that you can build them with many different builds. So Chandra can be on Swift, Despair, or Vio depending on your rune availability. It can be on Speed HP, or Speed Crit Damage HP. It can move first, move last. It doesn't fucking matter because in whichever way, you still enjoy the benefit of the Chandra. Going first, boost the entire team, maybe strip a single target, and you open up more enemy to be controlled by Cigar. Going last, you provide the protection for longer, and you boost the entire team attack bar when you have already taken a turn, which is amazing. Villager can move first to cleanse. Villager should move first in the team if possible. And thanks to the base speed buff to Villager, it is much easier to get Villager to move first to cleanse the team if possible. Cigar can move first to strip and control quickly, can move last to enjoy the cleanse, to enjoy the protection, to enjoy the extra single target strip. It doesn't matter. And that's why these three units are just so goddamn popular. But what if you only have one of the three units? Or what if you only have Villager? You don't have the other two units because they get drafted by the enemy, and you don't have the other unit, but you only have Villager. Then this is also a very popular position that people have been playing. Haegang is one of the most important units in RTA in my opinion if you don't play with LD5, because Haegang allows you to go first. If you take turn 1, you have AoE strip, open up for Oliver, Sierra control and damage. If you're taking turn 2, then most strip in the game that comes from LD5 or normal unit comes with some sort of a debuff, so Haegang can block that from happening. Cleanse your team, give you attack bar, a very strong unit, whether you're taking turn 1 or turn 2. And you pair with a speed lead that is win like Oliver or Sierra to provide either control or damage, and you pretty much create a core team that is very similar to the Chandra Cigar Villager, in which you can pair with pretty much anything, any LD5, and all different kind of follow-up, and you're gonna be just fine. You want to take turn 1, you pick Asher, you pick Segment to try to control the enemy, or take turn 1. You're going turn 2, you pick Defense Breaker like a Shower, you pick Shizuka that can pair really well with Villager for cooldown reduction, or Sierra for more bomb damage. You can still go Leo because the first two unit doesn't really scale with speed. They might be better if you're faster, but you don't necessarily lose out on much when you pick a Leo in your team as well. So this is another amazing core team. Triple element provide almost everything you need. But then if Haegang is banned, then you might be lacking in the stripping department. So you might want to pick up maybe more AoE stripper in that regards, or single target stripper, so that your team can be better. But here comes the other side of the table, the kind of team that people are using a lot to counter the slower bruisery lineup that we see a lot in the current meta. That is the fast control team. And the core unit that you see a lot is going to be Zabala combination with Robo. So Zabala is going to be built on the best swift set to boost the slower Via or Despair Robo, or boost itself to follow up after the strip the Robo that absorb attack bar and control with AoE freeze. And then usually you will see either Sierra or Oliver for the speed lead for either more control or more damage depending on your rune availability. Because Sierra needs to be built in a very specific way. You want Sierra to be the main damage dealer, you have to build on speed attack or HP or speed attack, high bomb damage, high attack stat, so that she can be the one finishing the enemy, especially when this team might be weak against immune to stun unit like maybe Juno or Fire Monkey. You want Sierra to be there to be the one that finish off the enemy. And then you can follow up with either speed lead and high base speed unit. If, let's say, the Bruiser comp picked up high base speed unit like Asher, Segment Ethna, or high base speed LD5. If you want to contest speed, you have to take your high base speed unit as well and a speed lead. But if you are fighting enemy with downy speed lead, or they have no plan to contest speed with you, let's say they pick this and then they locked in unit like Masha or a Shower or Gapsu. They have no plan to outspeed you. Then you locked in another strip and you locked in a strong AoE damage like maybe Tayor, for example, or Poseidon, or Charlotte, depending on the element of the enemy, or you locked in a strong single target damage dealer, while the Robo and the Zabala trying to control the enemy, the single target unit like Sierra or Masha will snipe the enemy as quickly as possible. So this is one way people are doing to counter the slower playstyle, because when you're slower, and let's say they don't drive a Haegang or any crazy turn 2 LD5 like Rakdo or Tianlang, then you can comfortably outspeed and control, because the core team here, one of the biggest weakness of this core team is that there's no passive, which means if you get stripped and increase cooltime, you are most likely going to get fucked. And that's why you see a lot of these are picked with stronger Bruiser LD5, so it can boost the survivability of these units. or at least they're picking it with very annoying unit like Verd or Veramos, annoying passive unit that allow these to survive better. But if you don't see any of that, then the Robo can control, the Zibala can freeze, and then the damage from the Sierra and other AoE unit will come out and destroy them. And the fast control team also pair really well with certain LD. Not all the LD, but certain LD can boost this team viability to S tier. Very, very crazy. So things like Wunsa or Gianna that allow you to outspeed and control the enemy will be amazing for this kind of team because you want your stripper to provide utility as well. That's why the Dark Robo is very, very good because not only it provides the strip, the pushback, the dot damage. If you pair on Vio, the turn cycling is massive with Zibala cooldown reduction, or you pair it on Despair, then the stun is going to be insane as well. So these LD5 is going to make this team so much better. If you own this core and you own these LD5, then you can start to make this team. But the limitation of this team is you need high speed rune. You need high accuracy rune. You need to go first all the time or most of the time. And then you need to identify the enemy threat quickly and kill them effectively. And that might not be for everyone because speed rune is something that everybody dreams to have, but not everybody can get. But if you have the LD, at least you can farm the runes. So these, you will see the core team with Zibala, wind speed lead, and the Robo pair with these LD5 very often, and they are ridiculously strong. And this team kind of replaced this old school control team with more Changpeng. Back in the day, this was the golden duo. You have this, you have 2 AoE strip, you have control, you have pushback. You can pair with pretty similar logic to the speed control team with damage, with single target snipe, and with attack bar booster so that you will move all the time. The more often you move, the more violent proc you get. Doesn't matter if you have proc 5 times before. If you move very often, you're gonna proc more often. So back in the day where Zibala wasn't a thing, Swift Verd or Asher was very, very popular to get the turn 1 for these Despair, Vio control unit. But nowadays, because Zibala is more accessible to many people, Zibala get picked as the one that carry the highest Swift rune and also provide control and healing at the same time. Zibala is a jack of all trades. But if you don't have Zibala and you still have only these units, you can still play with them. I would say they are very prone to getting slapped by high base speed unit because the core unit are not high base speed unit. And Asher can be banned very, very quickly. And because there are so many anti-pushback, anti-stun unit out there, using these can be a bit tricky. This pair with Sierra is really, really good because Sierra doesn't give two shit about your anti-stun, anti-pushback, whatever nonsense. The bomb damage build nowadays just shit on Fire Monkey, Juno, Gapsu, Veramos very, very quickly. And because this pair with Robo packed way too much pushback compared to the old school team, which has limited pushback. This is so much more popular, but this is still usable. If you only have these options, you can still play with them. I would say you're gonna struggle a little bit though, for sure. And then we have the off-meta team that I used to run. I don't run anymore now because I don't like it. I really enjoy just absolutely shitting on the enemy with Beth and Amber. They have no idea what the hell is going on. And because you are not using the more popular unit, nobody's gonna take your unit away. You get to play with the team all the time. If you play with the Bruiser com or the meta speed com, then they might snipe your unit and you might lose out on certain core unit. And when you lose a unit, you lose on your biggest rune set, which can be a problem. But you play with off-meta team, they don't take your unit, which is amazing. And they also don't know exactly what the hell you're doing, so you can surprise them. And I used to play this. I don't play it anymore simply because I can't be playing the same shit for like weeks and weeks and weeks. You don't turn on YouTube to see SeanB doing the same thing over and over and over again for weeks on end. I drop it for now. I picked it up once in a while because I really miss using Amber and Beth. It is so much fun. The good thing about anti-CC unit, they're often being fire or dark. So water unit like Beth and Amber shine really, really well. And I've been missing these units for sure. I might run them back up depending on the balance patch, but not for now though, not for now. I play too much with them already. Another sort of off-meta turn 1 team is going to be this Oliver, Water, Dokkaebi Lord, and Sekhmet. So this is more of a control-heavy team. We have cooldown reset, and more cooldown reset. So we have 2 high base speed units to allow you to strip the enemy for all level to control. Follow up with whatever you have. Let's say you strip the enemy stripper, and then you have a Valor Jewel to follow up. Now you're all protected and good. It's a bit harder to play because you don't have explosive damage compared to the Chandra Valor Jewel core, but it is very good controlling the enemy. You are also using 33 speed lead plus high base speed unit, so outspeeding might not be a very hard thing to do. So if you don't want to go with the other Bruiser meta, you can give this one a try, and you need to practice drafting more damage in the other 2 slot because the first 3 doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. But it can be fun, and especially when you use something that's off meta, then you will not lose out on the unit and they don't know what the hell you're doing. Another very popular kind of team is going to be the single target snipe team. This is for the Giants lover, and this is very hard to pull off because you are sniping the enemy, you are using a high risk, high reward unit like Sonya, attack buffer, high damage unit, and they can simply, or most of the time, ban out your attack buffer, and you're left with a team that's not buffed up, and it's very hard for you to kill the enemy. But if your last pick is really good, that counter the entire enemy, then your first 3 might stay, and it's going to be very fun to play. Let's say they pick a full win team to try and outspeed you, and you last pick a Douglas. They have no choice but to ban the Douglas or the Rika or whatever amazing last pick that you do. They leave you with this. You ban out their either high base speed unit or their speed lead. You outspeed, you snipe them. It is very, very fun. So you can still find replay of these in the middle rank. It is very hard to go high rank with this because people get very, very good at banning your attack buffer or drafting without a lot of loophole for you to try and abuse like full wind or full water kind of thing. But this is not bad. A lot of people trying to play the snipe team, but they pivot. They instantly see that, oh my god, I can't Sonya this guy. He picked high defense type. He picked fire. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with Sonya. If I pick Sonya, I'm going to lose. They pivot to things that scale with attack, but don't exactly snipe the enemy as quickly as Sonya or Masha or Kali or Water Siri. They pick things like Bomb from Smicer, provide good damage, control, and scale with the attack buff. They pick unit that can scale with attack like Dominic, Camilla, Fire Monkey, Federica, that can also kill the enemy quickly, but not exactly in the Sonya high-risk fashion because you can build these units a bit tankier. They pick unit like Mao, scale with speed, but also in a tankier fashion. Or they just switch to a control team instantly and surprise the enemy and use Adriana as purely as an immunity buffer and not really as an attack buffer whatsoever. Which can be the case as well, but this would take a lot of practice and experience to know how to pivot and when to pivot. And then there's the LD snipe team. So you replace Adriana with Kovaci and an amazing Swift set. You have immunity, attack buff, and cooldown reduction, and you can pair with even more LD to snipe the enemies. And these LD are very, very popular, and they can end the game very, very quickly for you. Snipe team with LD is the one that's gonna go really far. Pretty much any team, you plus the right LD in there, and they go far. Like this team I was using, if I didn't have, let's say, Dark Gojo or Light Desert Queen that have AoE Oblivion, I might not go to G3, I might stop at G1, but it's gonna be a bit harder to go very, very far. This control team without LD is gonna struggle when you go high rank, when people are tankier, or they draft smarter with more counter pick. But if you plus the LD, then suddenly this team is fucking unbeatable at some point. So having the right LD can be quite game-changing for your RTA team. And then there's also a small population that run the HP snipe team. So you also snipe, but you're also very, very tanky. The thing is, the cooldown can be a bit longer, but they still exist, and the Molong Wusa team still sometimes happen, and all of them are probably on Swift rune or very, very fast rune. So the Wusa do the thing, the Molong do the thing, and then you have other unit that try to buy time for the Molong Wusa combo to come back to kill again. But you don't see these very often because, once again, there are many revivers, there are any anti-death unit out there that block the snipe and then control these very slow, tanky, not really slow though, they usually build very fast. But if you can control their cooldown, you stun them, then they become very, very useless very quickly. But still, they exist. So I'm not sure what team you guys are building in the comment section down below. Let me know, because I can see some teams are very popular, but then you might be using something that is very cool that nobody is talking about, and you want to share with the community. That is very, very cool as well. Now let's talk about the other side of the equation, where maybe you don't have a speed lead, or you are slow but you have good vial runes and you have will runes. If you want to play slow, Leo is going to be your best friend. You want a unit that is immune to control like Fire Monkey King, or self-cleansing like Chow or Julian or Juno. You want a unit that gain attack bar in between enemy turns like Amdot, Diana, those kind of things that can actually take a turn. And when you're playing turn 2, proc's gonna be heavy, game's gonna be long, and it is gonna be very, very challenging on your mind and your mental state, because unlike this kind of shit that end the fight in like less than 10 turns, when you go turn 2, it's gonna be very, very tough. Your rune have to be maximum grinded. You want to get as much HP and defense as possible on unit that could be max res, that doesn't need accuracy that much, like let's say your healer. Then you should be max res to avoid the defense break from, let's say, a Masha or a Fire Monkey or a Han. You are not max res to resist a Gianna stun or a Shan stun. You are not max res to resist a Cigar skill 3 reset or, let's say, a Sierra bomb. You are max res to deal with the Masha defense break, to deal with the random, maybe even Tessarian defense break, to deal with the Fire Monkey defense break. You are max res for that reason. Don't think because you are max res, you're gonna res more often. No, it doesn't happen like that. However, in low rank, max res might be better for you because people don't have good accuracy down there. And a Ragdoll or a Haegang can go a long way, because those are the units that also allow your team to gain attack bar in between. Things that gain attack bar in between like Gio, Diana is great. But there are also units like Ragdoll, Haegang, Jackson, Wedjat, things that give the entire team attack bar, but as a passive, so they don't get reset. For a core team, let's say you start with Haegang, maybe people think you are going to go first, but then you're going second. Haegang allow you to strip the enemy immunity. If they're running a Velagel, they will run a Velagel. Trust. You see Velagel all the time anyway. So if you need more strip, and Haegang is your only stripper, you want to look out for things like Juno, Gapsu, and Josephine that can provide more strip. You want a damage dealer that is tanky, maybe provide an HP lead like Carno, that'd be great. Or maybe they don't pick any strip, or maybe if they don't pick any immunity at all, they go Chana, Cigar, Masha, and more damage. Then you picked up more damage, which is totally fine. And if you can add defense break in your damage dealer, like Monkey Kings, the Wind and the Fire one are great, or a Shower, that'd be great as well. But if, let's say, they pick very fire heavy, Chow is going to be an amazing option. And when you go slow, you can always think about picking Vert Leo, like almost all the time. Because any turn 1 player, they hate Vert Leo. They think it's brain dead cancer, whatever bullshit that they like to tell themselves to make their team look better. Vert Leo is always in the question. Why? Because it gives you the equal playing field. When people outspeed you, they invest a lot in the speed stat. All these teams invest a lot in the speed stat. When Leo's on the field, suddenly all that doesn't mean anything anymore. And now the tankiness that you have invested in your team will start to shine more than the speed stat. And Vert is just free-to-play Ragdoll. If it happens, you gain attack bar, you move, you fuck them up. These are some of the healers that are very popular among the turn 2 crowd. We have Angela, Lucia, Abelio. These healers either cleanse, self-cleanse, immune to shit, or get a turn in between and heal a lot. Then for the free-to-play crowd, you have Raccoony, Tetra that are also very amazing to pair with your turn 2 team. And then always look out for unit that has passive that do things when the enemy take a turn. With Monkey King, you can revenge stun. Let's say they pick a more Chunk Pung kind of lined up. Let's say the enemy is going with something like this. More Chunk Pung, a lot of Winston control unit. They don't have immunity. If your Wind Monkey managed to resist the turn 1 stun or just dodge the stun in general, then your Wind Monkey will be a nightmare for these kind of player. And then if you're fighting things that AoE strip into a Cigar, Minato is going to be another amazing unit. Because after the AoE strip, Minato Revenge, and put threat state on itself, then Cigar have to hit Minato, which is not the one that he wants to hit. He wants to hit your Carno. He wants to hit your Gio to take away the skill. But now he has to hit Minato. Very, very annoying. Another kind of slow core team could be a bit more robust. You pick cigar, but you're also going turn 2. You're not going turn 1. You're not going to try to outspeed the enemy, but you take the cigar because you have it and you want to break the enemy combo, forcing them to pick a smicer, which is a bit easier to counter with things like Gapsu or Veramos, which can be amazing. Musa is still going to be great for your immunity and your damage. And then you picked up more passive. For slow player, it is always about the passive. They have stun, Josephine. They're taking many turns without doing much. Fire Robo. They don't have immunity. But there will be people that will outslow you. They think you're going slow. They going slow as well. They're going passive as well. Then that is the sign for you to pick up damage. Let's say you're going slow. They start picking up fucking healers. Then you want to add damage. You don't want to add Josephine. Josephine's not going to do enough damage for you. You want to add in Molong to snipe, the Siren to lock down their passive, maybe Fangyan if they're going too much water. You want to add in the real damage. You need to have these rune up as well if you're going slow and they're going slow. And then there are slow team, but not exactly slow. You have good runes, but you don't want to take turn 1. You have a fucking Ragdoll. You can still go speed lead in your slow team. You can still go speed. It just makes your slow team not as slow, right? You are still moving very frequently and you're making it hard for the enemy to kill you. You can also pick up a Vanessa and then pick your slow team just fine. And then there are the turn 2 LD. God, I hate these units so much. Yes, Viva Chell can be turn 2 as well when you pair her with Leo Ragdoll, for example. Or when you build on Violent to be a bit slower to snap the enemy. Because when Viva Chell go turn 2, enemy take a turn, they fail to control Viva Chell for whatever reason, then Viva Chell can swap the HP and attack bar of one of the enemy target. Your entire team move, snipe the enemy unit. And passive like Seimei, Nick's gonna allow you to survive better. Achroma is gonna be the solo carry. A lot of people build Achroma tanky, but I like building Achroma with higher damage. Maybe don't go over 20k bonus HP. You're overshooting it. Add attack, add crit damage, have high crit rate, and your Chroma will start slapping the enemy around. Things like Zenisac is going to be amazing. Devaraya, one violent proc control the enemy team, that kind of stuff. So these are the LD5 that, hey, if you have, maybe consider going turn 2. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know in the comment section down below if I missed out any great team that you have seen being used very, very frequently. And I'll make a part 2 or part 3 on updated version in like a month or so as meta evolve, because the meta change not very quickly, slowly over time, but they still change. Anyway, you need to play a lot more games. That is step 1 to get better. You need to lose a lot more game because you can only learn how shit you are when you lose. And you have to repeat that all the fucking time. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.